Today, the Middle East is on edge as Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Iran's supreme leader, issues a stark warning to Israel and the United States. This isn't the first time tensions have risen to this level, but it may be one of the most critical moments yet. Join us as we explore the events leading up to this threat, its potential impact on the region, and the historical forces that have shaped Iran's stance. On October 26, 2024, Israel conducted an airstrike that killed 5 people at Iranian military facilities. The attack ignited a firestorm in Tehran, with high-ranking officials calling for a swift response. Now, on November 2nd, Khamenei is warning of a crushing response if aggression against Iran continues. Why is this moment so significant, and what are the possible repercussions? Khamenei's remarks follow several recent events that have destabilized the region further. With the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas, tensions are already at a boiling point. Israeli ground forces have moved into southern Lebanon, raising concerns that Hezbollah, an Iran-backed force, may escalate the situation. Meanwhile, the U.S. has increased its presence in the Middle East, deploying a high-tech THAAD missile defense system in Israel, underscoring the U.S.'s commitment to its ally. Let's break down Khamenei's statement. He warned that the enemies, whether the Zionist regime or the United States, will definitely receive a crushing response. What exactly does he mean by crushing response? Is this a signal of impending military action, or a strategic warning intended to dissuade further hostilities? In the past, Iran has used language like this to signal its readiness to respond but has been careful in calculating the timing and scope of its actions. The phrase crushing response carries weight, but it also leaves room for interpretation. Experts suggest that Iran may be signaling various responses, from cyber attacks to escalated support for regional allies, like Hezbollah in Lebanon. Khamenei's words came as he addressed students for Iran's annual Student Day on November 4th, marking a day of deep historical significance. In 1978, Iranian students protesting the Shah's regime were fired upon by soldiers. This was a pivotal moment in Iran's revolution, symbolizing the opposition to Western influence and the Shah's oppressive rule. This event strengthened the anti-American sentiment in Iran, laying the groundwork for the Islamic Revolution that would change Iran's future. By referencing this history, Khamenei connects the current threat to a legacy of resistance against foreign intervention, a sentiment that resonates deeply with Iranians. The decades-long enmity between the U.S. and Iran has created a complex web of geopolitical tension. It started with the 1953 U.S.-backed coup that reinstalled the Shah, leading to decades of Western influence in Iranian affairs. In 1979, the situation took a dramatic turn when students seized the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding 52 Americans hostage for 444 days. This incident, known as the Embassy Hostage Crisis, set the stage for the fierce opposition between the two nations that remains to this day. Today, we see echoes of the past in every action Iran and the U.S. take in the Middle East. Khamenei's warning to America taps into a long-standing animosity and the idea that any encroachment will meet strong resistance. While Khamenei's words appear directed at Israel, the U.S. looms large in this confrontation. American forces are stationed across the region, and as part of its support for Israel, the U.S. recently deployed a THAAD missile defense system in Israel. This action is designed to deter threats from Iran, but is also a reminder of the U.S.'s reach across the Middle East. American officials believe this show of military capability will deter Iran and its allies. But with the upcoming U.S. presidential election, there are political stakes involved as well. How will Iran respond to this military presence? And could this escalation affect the outcome of the election? Ayatollah Khamenei is not only the supreme leader of Iran, but also a figure deeply respected by supporters across the region. During his address, students offered a passionate show of loyalty, chanting, "The blood in our veins is a gift to our leader." Such statements reflect Khamenei's status as a symbol of resistance, embodying the commitment many Iranians feel toward the principles of the 1979 revolution. Khamenei's rhetoric is as much for his domestic audience as it is a message to the world. By referencing Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah's iconic gesture, a symbol of defiance toward the U.S., he underscores a unified front against perceived oppression. This imagery resonates powerfully in the region. As we near the end of this analysis, the Middle East is undoubtedly on the brink. Iran's rhetoric, the presence of U.S. forces, and Israel's recent actions all indicate that this situation could escalate quickly. Iran could resort to direct or indirect action against U.S. assets, or it might continue to strengthen its allies like Hezbollah in Lebanon or Hamas in Gaza. The stakes are high, with potential ramifications across the globe. Will Khamenei's warning be taken seriously, and how will the U.S. and Israel respond to his calls for a crushing response? Whatever the case, this is a moment the world cannot afford to ignore.